this is the Constitution. This is the other half. This is the state power part of things. This is the document that those gentlemen in the picture were sitting down to compose. No, and notice there it says, can you read that, what it says up there at the top? It says, we the people. The people. And that's really the key part of it. When an assistant district attorney in New York State stands up in front of a judge, he doesn't say, my name's, Joe Smith, I'm here for the state. He says, I'm here on behalf of the people. And then when the judge addresses this, he says, Mr. Jones, are the people ready? And that's really, sometimes people think it's just a formality. It's not a formality. That prosecutor, he's not there on behalf of the president. He's not there on behalf of the governor. He's there on behalf of the people. The preamble of the United States Constitution. And again, I'm just going to read this out to you because without, taking the year it would take to take a course in political philosophy, this is the best way to sum it up. We, the people of the United States, in order to form a more perfect human union, establish justice and ensure domestic tranquility, provide for the common defense, promote general welfare, and secure the blessings of liberty to ourselves and posterity, to ordain and establish the Constitution of the United States of America. The idea here is to create a strong federal government, because the question arises, what good are individual rights if they cannot be guaranteed? And if some of you may ask a question later, or there are some questions about the international behavior of the United States, that's really the key idea to understand, is that if you can't guarantee freedoms to your own citizens, then you really, those individual rights are meaningless. So to protect that, you need a strong federal government. Therefore, there needs to be a balance between individual rights and strong government. Bill of Rights, what do you get on the right side of things? Freedom of speech. You can say whatever you want, so long as you don't advocate the overthrow of the government. No official state religion. No cruel and unusual punishment, the Eighth Amendment. Freedom of religion. You can practice whatever religion you want. Freedom of the press. The press is free to say just about whatever they want, so long as they don't advocate the overthrow of the government. The warrant requirement. The police, before they come into your home, they need to go to a judge. If they want to come into your home and search for evidence of a crime, they need to go to an impartial judge, a judge who has no interest in the case. They have to swear out an affidavit providing facts that will lead a reasonable person to believe that it's more likely than not that a crime has been committed, and they have to give you notice. Frozen by the politics of fear. They used 9/11 to scare people. This made people emotionally unable to make a good policy decision about whether trying to take over Iraq would be a good idea. They used the saying, we don't want the smoking gun, meaning the ultimate proof that Iraq has weapons of mass destruction, to be a mushroom cloud. The president's advisors went on all the news programs and they said that. They all said it over and over again and kind of beat it into the American mind. Corporate media. If you don't see dissent, there's almost no dissent in the American media leading up to the 2003 Iraq War. If you see a decision about to be, that seems bad, about to be being made in the American federal government, and there's no dissent in the media, that's definitely something to pay attention to. Congress, hamstrung by the politics of division. I just went through with you wedge issues. That is the politics of division. That's how we end up with this evenly divided system. There's no true policy analysis in that situation. Everyone's just trying to win the next election, and there's no dissent. No one wants to vote against a war because they're afraid in the election their opponent, just like they say you're against God, they're going to stand up and say, he's unpatriotic. He didn't support the war. Misplaced confidence in militarism. This is similar to neoconservatism. Before the current war, Americans really believed, as a result of the 1991 Persian Gulf War, that the military was almost omnipotent and that they could basically achieve almost any end. They'd forgotten the lessons of Vietnam. And lastly, extremely important, overdependence on foreign oil. Our corporations and our government policy are too dependent on foreign oil. This gives us a motivation, a reason to seek out security in the Middle East, a national interest that makes us almost have to go in there because we need it to run our country. So I'd pay attention to those factors if you want to look at whether or not the United States is going to make a good international decision in the future.
So talking about consumerism, inheritance tax in US is pretty high. So do you think this is one of the primary reasons for low saving rates and high consumerism? And do you think it should be reduced?
I don't think that the inheritance tax is a reason for low saving rates. Even if you're not worried about passing money, even if you're worried about passing money on to your children, you still got to save for your own retirement. I mean, people aren't on our savings rate. We're not even saving enough for our own retirement. So it's really that's just about consumerism and an increasing cost of living. We buy too much stuff in the American economy. It's become a way of life, and it really I think it needs to change.
Yes, we had something from Tuft, I think.
So from Goshal also.
Goshal, please, go ahead.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning.
So, what are your views on the Guantanamo Bay and corporal punishment to any human being?
The last part, was that about torture or was that about
torture?
Torture is not the American way. It's I could talk to you for probably 10 minutes about that. It's wrong. It's against our principles. We're a signatory of the Geneva Convention. Both Barack Obama and John McCain, who was held and tortured, are against it. If it happened, then it was wrong, and the people who did it should be at least it should be addressed. In what way, we don't really know, but it should never happen again. It's not the American way.
But that's an interesting thing, though, that either way the election goes, this whole idea of working on the borderline of law and torturing and waterboarding, that's going to go away. Most probably that's going to go away. So that's a very, very positive thing. I think that's been one of the big stains on the perception of the US globally, as you all know.
In a moment. But before that, let me thank Edward for, on behalf of the entire Proton family.
Thank you.